Namaste viewers, welcome to my The Sound Breath series. In this video, through thermal meditation, we will try to understand if yogis slow down time or can slow down time by Bij mantra meditation. Also, what is achieved by slowing down time. This video is available in Hindi audio. The video link is flashing now. I am also providing the links in the description and comments of this video. In this video, I will try and cross-reference certain algorithms of Veda and Tantra with concepts of modern medical science and quantum mechanics. These references may help viewers grasp the algorithms with new interest in this modern era of technology, and hopefully we can perhaps imbibe these algorithms with more clarity. So I request you to please watch this video till the end and not skip any parts. Before I expound on the demonstration, I would like to present some concepts which will help us understand our topic in an easier way, especially the concept of time dilation, which is related to slowing down of time. Time dilation can be defined as a chain of events that appear or are experienced at different speeds by two different observers. In real life, we can observe this phenomenon through the lens of gravitational and kinetic time dilation. Time slows down on moving objects with relation to the gravitational force they experience of Earth. For example, orbiting GPS satellites' distance from Earth keeps on changing. Hence, they experience variations in the gravitational force exerted by Earth. GPS satellites hence have to adjust their clocks to keep in sync with other GPS satellites. If this compensation is not accounted for, it can collapse many systems on Earth. For example, real-time navigation systems like Google Maps, which require signal from minimum 3 GPS satellites at a time to exhibit pinpoint accuracy. We come across certain narratives in Puran which show shades of gravitational and kinetic time dilation. In Srimad Bhagvatam, we find the story of Revati which refers to time dilation. Revati was highly skilled and expert in all Tantra. Her father, Raja Kakudmi, was concerned that she may not find an ideal suitor. To find an eligible match, Raja Kakudmi travelled to Brahmalok, the abode of Lord Brahma. On arrival at Brahmalok, he acquired an audience with Lord Brahma and narrated his ordeal. On listening to Raja Kakudmi's tale, Lord Brahma started laughing. Brahmaji said that in the few minutes that Raja Kakudmi took to narrate his ordeal about Revati, in those few minutes, a span of 27 Chaturyug or millions of years have passed on Earth. We come across many such precise algorithms in Veda and Tantra where elapsed time is exhibited as time-space quantum. But we fail to explore these hidden pearls due to a linear mindset. We get lost in the narrative of the text and enjoy it just as some mythological tales. On human level, though we may experience time as fast or slow, but on algorithmic grounds, in our brain, time eventually slows down. For example, if we keep observing a clock in a room for some period, we will experience time as moving fast or slow depending on our goal. If we are waiting for an event to start, it will seem slow, and if we have a deadline to meet, time will seem to move fast. In both these events, the speed of time appears to change due to the stress we experience. This stage of stress, where we experience time as moving fast or slow, is termed as temporal dilation in the modern medical field. In this state, our brain processes the received audiovisual sensory data in a much expansive way, which eventually slows down time on its subconscious experiential level. But there is a difference between time seems to slow down and slowing down time. Slowing down time can somewhat be understood as slow motion video. This is a voluntary action which can be experienced by sadhana. Converse to this, when we experience immense stress or ecstasy, in response to that, time seems to slow down. This is an involuntary action which happens due to the flight-fright pathway activation in our brain. We cannot consciously experience this phenomena of time which seems to slow down. To simplify, in a state of extreme stress, due to unique chemical exchanges that happen in a part of a brain called temporal lobe, temporal time dilation is observed. Time seems to slow down, but we do not experience it consciously. For example, if you are watching a movie in a theatre, which is 2 hours long. And in this process, if you form a deep connection with the ongoing movie, then you will experience those 2 hours as slow moving. Because in that 2 hours, you will get clarity towards many questions in your life. Conversely, if your friend is going to meet you outside the theatre after the movie, for him the same time will move normally. Through this example, I want to say that outside time does not speed or slow down, because time is relative. The perception of time depends upon the sensory data the brain processes, which it gets from our 5 sense organs, because we create our own world from the sense experiences we derive. The experiences of pleasure and pain we create and hold on to them in a fast or slow time dimensions that only we experience. For example, the events that we fear in our childhood, that fear does not seem apparent in our youth. The fear stress we create with our own sense experience projects a world whose time dimensions only we can experience. If we closely look at this pathway of sensory experience and personal world projection, we may find its similarity to the concept of Maya. How do we define Maya? A holographic illusory world projected by the sensory data we experience through our 5 sense organs. A world which only we can experience and see. Its truth and functioning parameters are only relative to us. Hence, in Srimad Bhagvati Gita, Bhagvan Sri Krishna advises Arjun to destroy the illusory world he has created by his sense experience and projections. Only indulge in fruitless karma, because Bhagwan Krishna is the eternal truth. The entire probabilities and possibilities of life and death that Arjun is experiencing and processing is nothing but his holographic illusion or Maya. A beautiful example of sensory projection of Maya is found in the Srimad Devi Bhagvatam through a dialogue between Narad Ji and Bhagwan Vishnu Ji. Narad Ji requests Vishnu Ji to explain to him the concept of Maya. Vishnu Ji says that he will definitely explain Maya to Narad Ji, but before that, can Narad Ji fetch him some water as he is thirsty? Narad Ji goes on to fetch some water in a vessel from a nearby lake. As soon as he immerses the vessel in water, he sees a very beautiful woman nearby. He instantly falls in love and asks for the lady's hand in marriage. Post-marriage, he settles in a village on the opposite bank of the lake. Few years down, he becomes a father. Happy in his married and social life, one day he takes his family out boating in the lake. Suddenly, in the middle of the lake, the boat turns upside down and all the people fall in water. Narad Ji watches his entire family drown. He himself is drowning and yells for help by putting his hand above the water. At that very moment, Vishnu Ji holds his hand and says, "Narad Ji, you had gone to the lake to fetch water for me. I am waiting since 45 minutes. Where did you get lost? I hope not in Maya." If you wish to study more about sense projections, Maya, brain and quantums, then please read about quantum decoherence and brain. I am linking some material in the description of this video. Dissolution of Maya is basically the sole aim of all Veda and Tantra. In brief, the dissolution of linear processing of sensory data and through it, the linear projection of events. One way to achieve this is to slow down time. As I previously said, that slowing down time is a voluntary process which can be arrived at through sadhana. This is different from the phenomena of time seems to slow down, which is a survival instinct. In a study published by Frontiers of Psychology, volunteers were shown 2 sets of visuals. In one visual, things seemed to come towards them, and in others, moving away from them. During visuals, fMRI scans of these volunteers were obtained. During the visuals where objects moved towards the volunteers, they experienced immense stress. This activated the brain's flight-fright chemical exchange pathways. This activity was majorly registered in the Cingulate Cortex area of the temporal lobe. In an event of extreme stress, our brain has to take quick decision to create a balance. In this state, the brain processes sensory data in minute detail to arrive at an ideal decision. Hence, it's quite possible that in such states, our brain stores and processes sensory data at a much faster pace. Hence, in these states, time seems to slow down. This is a survival instinct. Though slowing down time and time seems to slow down are 2 different phenomena, yet as per medical science, both these events happen in the temporal region of our brain. Researchers inform us about a locus coeruleus neuron located in the brainstem region amidst the temporal lobe. This neuron secretes norepinephrine. Norepinephrine is foundational to our attention span. Researchers are of opinion that the high activity registered in the cingulate cortex during temporal dilation is predominantly due to the secretion of norepinephrine. If we probably can gain voluntary control over its secretion, then maybe we can slow down time. Please note that in this stage, the outside time does not slow down, but internally we process sensory data in a much profound and expansive way. In this state, linear projection and linear outcome of events, or the continuous chain of one-dimensional projection of outcome of events by the linear processing of sensory data is broken. In simple terms, we see ourselves in various different scenarios or outcome of events from the sensory data we process, and yet not get affected by the outcome. This state can only be experienced personally. This is one of those blissful states that has been documented or narrated by many yogis. I am just making a modest effort to present the pathway behind it. We may attain or not attain this highest state, but through the sadhana we imbibe towards it. In that process, we experience high therapeutic effects in many mental disorders where there is a discord between the sensory data input the brain receives and the way it processes and projects. For example, PTSD, stress-related syndrome, ADHD, depression, hallucinations, and similar. Veda and Tantra Shastra determine a lifespan time in terms of prana units we consume. Each day we consume 21,600 prana units. We mobilize the outside prana inward through our inner pranic center. This movement is facilitated through pranavayu. We identify this process of prana consumption as breathing. But there is a difference between breath and prana unit consumption. We can consume 1 prana in 4 breaths or 4 prana in 1 breath. But we cannot consume prana units from outside without the activation of inner prana center. Hence, we cannot pump prana units by outside air in a dead body. We cannot bring back the dead with it. 21,600 prana units are algorithmically distributed in each of the chakra. In simple terms, these prana units act as fuel for all our neurohormonal and enzymatic functions. All macro-micro activities of our body are controlled by this chakra. If the prana units are retained in this chakra for their ideal time, if there is no corruption in consumption of prana units, leading to no wastage or leaks, then the body becomes disease-free and sustains for a long time. Outside prana and inner prana synchronize, dissolving all the exchange activity, creating suspension of breath. This state is similar to the yogic state of Kevala Kumbhak or Nirvikalpa Samadhi. There is no sensory perception and processing, and hence no projection of outer world. As there is complete retention of prana by chakra, the need of any physical, mental, and social requirements ceases. Maya ceases to exist. Because Maya projection is integral to the requirements and validations created by our sensory inputs and projection. Whenever we interact with an object, person, or nature through our 5 sense organs, then our mind creates a response towards that interaction with the kind of sensory inputs it receives. But if we analyze, that response is not the only possible response to that input. The same data can create multiple responses in different people. These possibilities of responses depend upon a karmic map or social moral life evolution. For example, if your boss reprimands you and your friend, then both of you may react differently to that reprimand. Your response will depend upon your karmic genetic map or the life events that you have undergone till that time. Life events that continuously reframe your social, moral, physical, mental, financial, and spiritual paths. You can experience immense anger in response to the reprimand, but your friend can go in depression. But when your boss is reprimanding you both, he neither aims to make you angry or see you depressed. Here, if we analyze the outer prana units, which are in form of reprimand, when we consume it and process it through the sensory inputs we receive, we create our own individual sensory world. But the outer prana carries all possibilities of worlds that can be created on individual level. If you want to tap into all the possibilities the outer prana carries, then first we have to get voluntary control over the Agni or processing mechanism that converts the data received from outer prana to internal prana projection. Only then we can bypass the linear projection of events created by mind and in the process slow down time. Only then we can observe ourselves in various possibilities and not get affected by them. We can gain voluntary control over this Agni by Bij Mantra sadhana. Those Bij Mantra which influence the Agni that processes or transforms the received audiovisual sensory data. We can then attain a Jitendriya state, or where we are in complete control of all our sense organs' input and output data. This state can be held similar to the Ashta or 8 forms of Siddhis mentioned in Tantra. Bij Mantra in themselves are a quantum blueprint. They give their effects as per the conditions they are employed in. For example, if we sow apple bij or seeds in different geographical locations, they will exhibit different sensory profile. Hence, the dynamics of sound and breath of Bij Mantra must only be learned under the guidance of a Guru. Guru whom you have surrendered without any linear projections. A mind state where the Guru can decode your karmic blueprint and initiate you into the appropriate Bij Mantra Diksha. Because only by non-linear surrender can one attain a state of bhakti. Hence, I request viewers to imbibe the Bij Mantra demonstrated in this video only from an educational viewpoint. Do not take it as a complete sadhana. But a question may arise as to which are those Bij Mantra that influence this temporal dilation Agni. If we associate Siddhis with the voluntary control over the Pran transformation Agni, then the only name that projects is of Lord Hanumanji, the supreme master of all Siddhis. He is associated with many Bij Mantra, but his main Bij Mantra is Phraum. Many Bij syllables appear gibberish, but within them lies their Agni. Through japa and sadhana, we kindle this Agni and homogenize it, which creates a synchronization between the outside and inner pran, finally leading to dissolution of Maya. If we analyze Phraum Bij Mantra, we can split it into the letter sounds Fa, Ra and Pranav or Om. The letter sound Ra in it is the Agni in form of Prabhu Sri Ram, whose Bij Mantra is Ram. The letter sound Pa denotes the Bij Phraum of Kala Agni or Agni of time. The Pranav or Om denotes dissolution of Maya. But a question may arise that how mere letter sounds influence the Agni. As we observe, the outside pran carries within it all the possible human projections. We can collectively associate these possibilities on cosmic level as cosmic intelligence. Intelligence which carries all possible projections of past, present and future. Our rishis saw this pran of cosmic intelligence in form of mantra. Hence we call rishis as mantra drashta or seers. They imbibe this cosmic intelligence in form of mantra with their nad and dhvani or sound and resonance. This state of seeing and imbibing the mantra with its sound is known as prakrit dhvani. They then transmitted this mantra in form of articulated sound. This is known as vaikhari dhvani. We call this as oral traditions. In my video on Introduction to Veda, I have elaborated in detail about the state of mantra drashta. Interested ones can watch it. I am providing the video link in the description of this video. As per Tantra, from the Damru of Mahadev, we received 14 algorithmic sounds or nad as prakrit dhvani. From these 14 sounds, we derived 14 swara or vowels and 33 vyanjana or consonants. We know them as Maheshwar Sutra. With some algorithmic additions, we term these letter sounds as matrika. Through this matrika nad or letter sounds, Maya establishes itself. Hence, all these letter sounds have been assigned pran energy units. For example, the swar or vowels carry 1, 1.5 or 2 matra or pran unit, while the consonants carry half or 1 matra or pran units. When we imbibe through sadhana these letter sounds as mantra, we basically manipulate these pran energy units, which influences the time Agni. Since we now understand a bit about the primordial pathway of prakrit dhvani as received from our rishis, in this demonstration I am presenting Phraum Bij on the line of prakrit dhvani because we have to imbibe the vaikhari dhvani from a guru. In this prakrit dhvani demonstration, we are employing only sound breath visualization. This is a fractional sadhana of prakrit dhvani. It is safe and it will give you some results by which your interest might kindle in the Shastra. Viewers, please note that in this demonstration, we are not concentrating on the sound resonance or chant of any letter. Neither we must focus on the representation of these letters in Devanagari or Brahmi script. But when we will start the sadhana, it's quite likely we will make both these mistakes. But the main purpose of sadhana is to overcome these errors by constant study and focus. We just have to visualize these mantras subconsciously via breath control. When we reach this state, the mantras get imbibed along with their sound and resonance naturally. A better way to prepare is few days before sadhana, try sitting in one place in a spine steady position. Once this sitting position becomes subconscious, shift your focus to breath. Keep your eyes open. When breath awareness becomes subconscious, then with open eyes, while inhaling, concentrate on the letter P. Focus on R during breath retention post-inhale, and let Om flow naturally during exhale. Initially you can focus on the shape of these letters, but keep in mind that each letter sound is individual. While focusing on P, ensure that your mind does not linearly go towards R and Om. Once you start imbibing the sadhana well, you will notice an increase in your attention span. You will start arriving naturally towards solutions of your life problems, or else those questions themselves may become irrelevant. Viewers, please note that all sadhana experiences are strictly personal. Hence, do not try to discuss or validate your experiences. It will cause a delusion of sadhana siddhi and arrogance of experience. Mind will quickly slip again into linear projection pathway. Hence, perform this sadhana without any goals or presumption of effect. Do not go hunting for changes. This demonstration has been filmed in the harsh environment of Kakudmi Lake, located at 15,800 feet in Himalayas. This domain is associated with Rishi Kakudmi, who himself stands outside time. If you wish to watch my Kakudmi Lake Yatra, then click the link which is flashing now. Likewise, I am also providing the video link in the description of this video. When I was recording this demonstration, the weather was extremely cold. It was snowing. I had taken bath in the extreme cold waters of Kakudmi and had performed Pitra Tarpan ritual. I created a physical and mental stress with these activities. This would activate my temporal lobe, creating a sense of time slowing down. Post-stress induction, I recorded my sadhana. I was feeling extremely cold. After some time, this region experienced heavy winds. I removed my clothes and thereby increased the intensity of stress. I started focusing on Phraum Bij mantra, Prakrit Dvani sadhana, amidst the extreme stress. As I informed earlier, letter sound P in inhale, R in retention post-inhale, and Om as flow during exhale. My entire focus was on the Bij mantra Ra of Prabhu Sri Rama during Purak or retention post-inhale. During stress in temporal region of the brain, whatever involuntary activity happens as a part of flight-fight pathways. With this sadhana, over time, we establish a voluntary control. This sadhana ultimately influences the Kala Agni's pain derivative in brain, eventually slowing down time. All the survival projection mind creates due to sensory inputs during stress eventually disappear. We only experience pran energy. Through this sadhana, eventually over time, we dissolve all stress and trauma that binds us. I can only partially present this sadhana with technical parameters in form of thermal camera and heart rate monitoring. In brief, stress and stress resolving parameters. In near future, if we can record brain activity in real time on phones, then we can get even deeper insights in such experiments. In flight-fright mode, our heartbeat increases. If the outside temperature falls down considerably, then over time, even our body core temperature dips. Breath rate increases. But if our mind bypasses the flight-fright pathways and absorbs and processes the sensory inputs in an expansive way, then the internal pran synchronizes with the external pran. Breath rate slows down. Body core temperature stabilizes. Heart rate stabilizes. If you observe in this entire demonstration, which spanned over 1.5 to 2 hours, my body core temperature was stable. It never went into extreme blue spectrum, which is a sign of body's core temperature dipping. My heart rate was stable and many times I could feel time slowing down. When I experienced this state, my heart rate was around 51 bpm. As you observe, As soon as I looked at my watch to take a screenshot, the heart rate jumped to 107 bpm. A reason could be that the mind shifted pathways from non-linear to linear projection. I have published 2 more videos on similar lines. 1. How yogis heat their body in extreme cold. 2. Ma Baglamukhi Sadhana, where I demonstrate how we can overcome stress with Ma Baglamukhi Bij Mantra. In all these 3 videos, you can see one similarity. In all the 3 videos, the Bij Mantra we employ carry the Agni of Prabhu Sri Ram. In all Bij Mantra, where there is the letter sound R, it denotes this very Agni. To be honest, the algorithms of Tantra do not require any validation or proof by parameters of modern science. We can only imbibe these Tantra algorithms through sadhana. Modern concepts like quantum mechanics, etc., help us understand the cryptic algorithms of Tantra in a fractional manner. However, we have to rely on concepts of modern science due to our education system, because for most parts, our education system is linear. Its dimensions are solely based on the projections we make of our social and economical life. Hence, we find it immensely difficult to absorb the non-linear algorithms of Veda and Tantra. We solely rely on intellectual validation. Hence, please accept my references just as an effort to simplify these Tantra algorithms and not as proof or validation. Cosmos is neither macro nor micro. Through mantra sadhana, we synchronize with the prana energy of this cosmos, which is in form of an yantra, which may ultimately lead us to the source of its projection, the source of Maya. This source is none other than the Agni in form of Prabhu Sri Ram, which projects itself as Kala Agni's pain or the Agni of time to create innumerable projections as Maya. This Agni is Brahma, the eternal truth. I am aware that in projects of this kind, there would definitely be mistakes and misinterpretations. Hence, I request my viewers to just absorb the positive aspects you gain from this video. Please inform me about the negatives you find in a way of constructive creative criticism. If you do manage to try this sadhana, do comment about your experiences in an unbiased manner. I hope through my effort, I was able to present a different approach towards algorithms of Veda and Tantra. Thank you for watching.